So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble. Excuse me. When it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bounced him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
It'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable, gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Five, 3.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a
great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Hi, everyone, and good evening. Welcome in to the CityNet Statewide Sportsline on this Friday, March 27th, 2026. Glad you're with us, however you may be listening or watching the show tonight. Thank you for spending some time with us. Coach Hunter joins me in studio. Greg, good evening. Welcome to you.
Good evening, Brad. How you doing?
Good. What happened to the weather out there?
Oh,
75
boy,
yesterday. Now it's snowy?
Yeah,
Jeez.
Great question. What happened?
Goodness gracious. A lot of football to get into tonight on the program. We'll dive into that for the good majority of this show. Tony's going to join us coming up here in just a little bit. He was over at practice today. We'll get a scouting report on how the Mountaineers look here. And we're into practice. What did you say the other day? What was this?
Today that was 4 the other day.
So this is 6?
Yes.
Practice number 6 out of how many?
15.
Out of 15.
Spring game or festival, whatever you want to call it, will be practice number 15.
All right, so not quite halfway through. So we'll spend some time diving into football tonight. And like I said, Tony joins us coming up here in just a few minutes. We want to hear from you, of course, tonight, Friday night. Lines are open, 304-8255-304 if you'd like to text us. And let's try this for a question of the night, Greg. We talked the other night that really every position group has questions on this Mountaineer team. I mean, you can literally pick every one of them. But let's kind of reverse engineer that question. Even given that, what's the one position group you feel best about? Granted, we just said we're halfway through spring practice. It's only March 27th. A lot of offseason to go, a lot of news and information to come out on these guys on how they're performing. But as we sit today, what's the one position group you feel best about?
Good way to phrase it, because I think we've done which one's got you the most concerned. So, yeah, which one out of all of them do you feel best about? And there's so many newcomers. Where can you find somebody?
But I think I've got a couple here. 304-8255-304. We'd love to hear what you say. We'll get into those texts coming up here in the second half of the show, so you've got some time to get it in. The position group that you feel best about for Mountaineer football as we sit here at the end of March. 304-TALK. 304, and we'll get into that coming up. Let's talk a little J.J. Weatherholt again. We had fun yesterday. His Major League debut was on when we came on the air. He had homered already in the game in his first Major League game, which is just incredible. I found myself, Greg, last night going through Cardinals Twitter and watching some of the scenes of him getting presented the baseball from when he got it hit, when he came into the locker room afterwards, and listened to his post-game interview afterwards. And no surprise for everybody listening that we followed this guy for a long time. Just a great interview. Just could have been a divisional game over the Brewers in July, and he sounded exactly like he did coming off his first Major League game and a home run. So real quick, run through those stats yesterday. What did he end up on the day?
Well, as you said, his second at-bat, he hits a home run, 425-foot shot, dead center. So home run number 1 of his career in his second at-bat. But then he follows up later in a big inning for the Cardinals that ultimately helped them get the win with a sac fly as well that drove in a run, part of a big 8-run inning for the Cardinals that took them from down 7-1 to up 9-7, and ultimately that was the final score. So a good opening day for J.J. Weatherholt, but we mentioned it last night as well. There was another Mountaineer in the starting lineup for the Cardinals who also had a notable day, in Victor Scott. He's not a guy who's been known for his offense. When he's been in the majors a few years now, one of the best defensive center fielders in all of baseball. Just can fly, can run when he gets on the bases, but he's a guy that struggles sometimes to get to 200, but the reason he stays up in the majors and continues to, be in the starting lineup is because of his defense. Well, if he does what he did yesterday, he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
He hit, and he ran. You mentioned he can run, too. Stolen bases, too, if he just finds a way on a base. But he had a really good day yesterday.
Yeah, 3 for 4 in that, and also ended up with a run And again,
2 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And neither were close. Like he was in there easily.
He can run. I mean, these are major league catchers, so it's not like he's doing it against First Ward Little League, right?
All due respect.
Yeah. Well, it's the alma mater, I guess you could call it. But so both those guys, JJ leading off, Victor Scott hitting last, so they're back to back quite often in this one. But if Victor Scott's got his offense going, and he was good offensively at West Virginia, but obviously the major leagues is a whole different realm. But if he can be good offensively, boy, that's going to help the Cardinals a lot because they love his defense.
Well, as you know, that's almost that second leadoff position.
Yeah.
So you put that kind of speed at 9. If he gets on, that gives JJ a chance to drive runs in from the 1 spot, right? Which is kind of the new thing. You've seen Judge hit leadoff as well. So the analytics kind of tell you that's a good way to go. Put that second leadoff guy, your speedy guy, down at 9 and let your number 1 guy like JJ with some power drive him in. So I told you I was down the social media rabbit hole with JJ stuff last night, interviews and locker room celebrations. I ran across this that has been going around today, and Braden will throw this up if you're watching on the video stream at wvmetronews.com and the Metro News TV app. This is pretty good. This comes from the Mars, Pennsylvania area school district, and they tweeted this today of a young JJ Weatherholt, and I'll read the tweet there in case you can't see it. It comes from Mrs. Ingoldsby, JJ Weatherholt's 5th grade teacher, and the tweet writes that they found this gem to honor his major league debut yesterday. The students at that time had to write what they wanted to be when they grew up. And the tweet continues, says, so proud of him for living out his dream and knocking it out of the park in his very first at-bat. And it shows, if you're not watching with us, JJ, a young JJ, in front of some lockers, and he's holding up one of those little chalkboards where you put what you want to be when you grow up. And JJ has on there, MLB player.
Most of those aren't right when you...
There's a lot of people that have done that.
Yeah.
And his hits.
Yep.
I think that's awesome. Look at him there. Little JJ with MLB player.
I saw another photo that went out today. Former Pittsburgh Pirate shortstop Jack Wilson. 15, 20 years ago. His son is now in the major leagues. Really good player, shortstop himself with the Oakland A's or whatever they're called right now, wherever they're playing. But Jacob Wilson. But the dad put out a photo of the 6-year-old T-ball team that had J.J. Weatherholt and Jacob Wilson right next to each other.
Crazy.
Because the kid would obviously spend a lot of his younger years in Pittsburgh, and we know that's where...
Jack Wilson's old enough to have a son that old?
Yeah.
Jeez. We're getting old.
Yeah, we are.
That's
but
fast.
yeah, Jacob Wilson is very good, and I think he's a year or two older. He can't be much older because they were on the same 6U team.
Yeah.
So maybe JJ was playing up as a 3-year-old or something. I don't know. But anyways.
That's neat. The Cardinals are back in action tomorrow, so we'll obviously be following them and following Vic and JJ Weatherholt. All right, turn our attention to college basketball last night. A wonderful start to the Sweet 16. Those games, that Texas-Purdue game was outstanding. And then how about Iowa and Nebraska? Nebraska, that's one of those, that's a historic season for my guy Fred Hoiberg there, right? First NCAA tournament win, obviously first Sweet 16 appearance, most wins in school history. They just had a tremendous season. To have it end the way it ends, I'm not sure you get over it. So a couple things. Number one, they led for 38 minutes. Iowa took its first lead with 2 minutes to go, and there was a good chunk of that game when Nebraska had a double-digit lead. And Iowa just kept coming and chipping away and then finally got hot late and made some shots. And then, of course, the one that's the highlight that's out there, there's the blunder, the miscommunication that happens in the bench. Games get chaotic. Nebraska only sends 4 players out in a situation when Iowa was up just 3, had the ball. They end up throwing the ball the length of the floor, turns into a foul, get some free throws out of it. They go up 5, and it really kind of iced the game if it wasn't already. But that kind of became the highlight of it. But, man, how about Iowa? Ben McCollum in his first year went from Northwest Missouri State, went to Drake, went to Iowa, and they're in the Elite Eight. First Sweet 16 since 99 for them, and then they're all the way to the Elite Eight. So just a wonderful early round of games. In the evening session, the late session, which feels like middle of the night session here on the East Coast, some good and some bad for the Big 12. Arizona looked as advertised, right? I mean, they just said to Arkansas, come on in here. You want to try and speed us up?
One of the best players in the upcoming NBA draft.
Darius Acuff, they said, oh, you want to run with us?
Never mind.
Okay, we'll run. We'll put up a hundy on you. and run you out of the gym, and Arkansas just imploded on itself. Guys getting kicked out, the whole thing. So Arizona, no surprise there, moves on after putting up 109 points on John Calipari and Arkansas. On the other side, Illinois was one of those sneaky picks coming in. A lot of people said for a good chunk of this season that might be the best team out there, that they could be a dark horse Final Four team. And, man, they showed it last night against what we've seen, a very good Houston team. But I thought what you always thought all season Houston's Achilles could be showed up, and that was just so reliant on the jump shot, and then secondarily reliant upon going to get the offensive rebounds when you missed, and or then getting to the free throw line. They only had 2 free throw attempts all game. They couldn't make threes, I think like 4 to 25 or something from 3, and Illinois had enough size to keep them off the offensive glass, so it kind of neutralized them. They had trouble scoring, and Illinois marches on from that game.
Anybody on Illinois' team under 7'2"?
They're big, aren't they?
Oh, every time I see them, I'm impressed. Even though I see them and they lose when I see them because they've played some just outstanding teams. Big Ten is good this year. Give them credit for that. But, boy, they got length. They're really good,
and scorers and slashers and shoot. I mean, they've got a lot of pieces there. That's a real challenge. I did have in my Howe family bracket, I had Houston coming out of that region, so I'm knocked out there. And so I think that's a really good Houston team. Boy, it was set up for them, wasn't it? Playing the regional at home with those 3 veteran guys mixed in with 2 NBA lottery picks, but they just couldn't quite get it done. And that's a scary part of that tournament. You play that 3 or 4 times, 5-time series, maybe it's a little bit different, but in a one-game setting, your shot's not falling, you can't get to the glass, and you're not getting points at the free throw line. That's a big problem.
Yeah. No, you're right. And when you're there, I mean, it's such, I don't want to call it luck because there's a lot of skill that goes there, but it is sometimes just fortune. The difference between Sweet 16 and Final Four is just so slim.
Yeah, well, the games continue tonight, and again, there are 4 more good ones, at least on paper. St. John's Duke will tip things off at 7:10 tonight, followed by Alabama, Michigan, Michigan State, Connecticut, and then of Big 12 interest, Tennessee and Iowa State going later tonight. Have you seen anything on Josh Jefferson yet? I haven't seen anything official, but that does not sound good.
No.
Does not sound like he's going to go.
I haven't heard anything official about the Cyclone, whether his injury is going to allow him to play, but sort of the indications are what you said. Unlikely to do so, and maybe unlikely to do so not just tonight, but throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's a major concern, and that puts them in a really tough spot. Obviously, one of the best players not only in the Big 12 but nationally. But they're taking on Tennessee tonight, scheduled for a 10:10 tip-off. So get your coffee or your nap in so you can stay up and watch that one. All right, break to take. When we come back, Tony will join us. We'll talk a little football and basketball with him, and we'll take your text just right around the corner at 304-8255. 304. That's 304 Talk 304 for your text when we return on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
We are there for you to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
Ready to make this boating season unforgettable? Head to Lou Wendell Marine Sales, family owned and operated for over 40 years and West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Lou and his sons are boating experts from sales to service to repairs. And right now, their lot is packed with incredible inventory and some of the best deals of the season. Because they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com today. Boating season is almost here.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back in. CityNet statewide Sportsline continuing on this Friday night. Brad and Greg with you. We're live in the Health Plan studio. The Health Plan provides health coverage options and has been the most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We're going to get into your text. We're going to talk football here primarily the rest of the show. Got a bunch coming in already, Greg, so we'll get into that coming up here in just a minute. We asked the question, what position group, given all the questions, there's questions around this whole entire football team, every area, but what position group do you feel best about as we sit here late March? What position group do you feel the best about? 304-825-5304. We'll get to your answers coming up here in just a bit. Before we do that, however, let's welcome in Tony Caridi to the program. He joins us now. TC, you there? Good evening. Oh, hold on. All right, try again. You there? Can we hear you?
Yes, indeed. How are you guys?
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Sounds good.
Guess what? It finally worked.
Look at that.
Modern technology.
Got a lot
I'll tell you.
Round of applause for Braden, producer Braden. Got it all done. We didn't screw it up. Good evening.
What's up, boys?
How we doing? Hey,
everything's good. Everything's good. I just got back over from football, and so my feet told me about 10 o'clock tonight they'll stop being cold.
Yeah, well, that's what we were just saying. It was a little chilly. Too bad that wasn't yesterday when it was 75 degrees. But all right, so you just got back. Let's talk about this. What do we say? 6 practices in here
something like
to
that.
Spring practice. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. The floor is open. You walked out of practice and you said what?
Okay, so this is always the fundamental, tricky question, right? I think that everything that we've heard so far about what they wanted to accomplish in recruiting to this point, they have done it. So let's just start off on the offensive line. They've got bigger, physical, more athletic bodies. Mm-hmm. Okay, mission accomplished. You've got some quarterback depth there now with guys that we've seen from a year ago in Scotty Frocks and Max Brown, but also, Michael Hawkins immediately catches your eye for his ability to be able to do what Rich Rodriguez likes his quarterbacks to do, and that is be able to throw it, be able to run it, and be able to react to what defenses are doing. So that's encouraging. We've talked a lot about, Amari Lattimore And just physically, just a very large human being. Cam Cook also, obviously, the stats tell his story. So receiving room, bigger, longer athletes. Again, I say that all, and defensively, same kind of a deal. I say that all with the preface of the one thing I think you could say at this point is just that physically they look bigger. There's more athleticism than there was a year ago. But as I tell everyone on the field there while we're watching practice, it doesn't necessarily mean anything in regard yet to the wins and the losses. Do I think that it opens your opportunity up to win more games? Absolutely. But last year they won 4. So what is this season? Is that 5? Is that 6? Is that 7? Is that 8? Is there more than that? Then I think anything you're doing in that space of trying to guess how many wins is you're guessing. And I think we won't know until really you finish your non-conference schedule when you play those 3 games. And then at that point, I think you'll have a pretty good idea of how they will fare in the Big 12.
So, Tony, answer Brad's question about what position you are semi-confident with the understanding that everything is a question right now. But is there a position you feel better about than anything else?
Quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Yeah, quarterback. Knowing, Greg, what Rich demands from his quarterback and knowing that Scotty Fox went through it last year, so he just has a base understanding. And then knowing the fact that Michael Hawkins was seen day in and day out by Zach Alley, obviously had to be a huge impetus in him telling Rich, hey, this guy can do what it is that you want your quarterbacks to do. And plus, there's some other guys on staff that were there as well to see him while he was at Oklahoma. And then just watching him, he's got the ability to get out of the pocket. He runs with the ball well. He throws really nice balls. He'll get it to you one way or the other. And by that, I mean sometimes it'll come over the top, and sometimes if he's under pursuit and he needs to go off the side a little bit, 3/4, he can do that. So he just looks like a guy that's going to be able to make plays. But with all of that said, again, until you get into the live action of a true game and teams are scheming against you and doing things, that is going to come down to, okay, so what's his decision making? What is his ability to, grasp a play or a game plan during the course of a week and then be able to put that out there. My indication, my vibe, my feel is, yeah, he'll be able to do that. But I think what it does basically is it gives you at least 2 guys that you're looking at right now at that quarterback spot that you could feel comfortable with.
I agree. I think that's a good answer for a position, not to tip our hand on what we're going to say, Greg, but coming up here and we get into your text on the position group you feel best about as we sit here late March. And that's the caveat, right? There's a long road between what you see right now with basic skill set and operating the offense. But I think you said that well, Tony. I think you know that Hawkins has the physical abilities you're looking for. And Fox, we know, because we've been through this before, when you're thrown into the fire as a baby like he was, the jump you just made mentally from having to play, not just watch, not just be in film, not just practice, would lead to a leap, absolutely. But having to play actual reps in this league, Scotty Fox's command of this offense is going to be way ahead where you are most of the time coming into this season. All right, let me ask you another question. And feel free to do the voice and imitation along with it. I assume you went over and got a look at Coach Trickett there for a little bit. That'd be Rick Trickett, not Travis. Got a little Rick Trickett in today, did you?
The first place I go when I go to practice is just go over to offensive line because I just want to see it for a bunch of different reasons. In all seriousness, because as everyone knows, again, going back to it, I mean, for Rich to have success on offense, he has got to be able to run the ball. And when the story was well documented last year that West Virginia just struggled, and it just when you can't do that, it leads to frustration all across the board. So they knew that, and Rich said repeatedly last season, I have got to get bigger, larger human beings to move that can move people. And again, this isn't game, but this is just watching on the hoof. They've got bigger, larger human beings. We talked a little bit about Malik Agbo a year ago, and there's a guy there that they really, really like. And now he's at 275 pounds, and they like him a lot. You go over to Nick Cray, who was a tackle last year, who's going to move in a spot, and he's going to play a guard position. Like, he isn't just going to be serviceable. He is going to be a high-level player. And, guys, we talked about this. West Virginia football, and for that matter, West Virginia basketball, is not going to be where fans and we want them to be, and for that matter, the coaches in the programs want to be, until we get players that are going to be legitimate all-conference players or professional players when they're done. That's the ultimate litmus test. You take a look at those games at the end of the season, and the guys that were making plays in football were guys that are going to go on to the NFL. You take a look in basketball, the teams that are still playing out there have team players that are going to go to the National Basketball Association. So you've got to start getting all-conference players again. And so I think Nick Cray is one of those guys that has the potential to do that. And then again, on the hoof, Kevin Brown, he has all of the physical attributes that belie a freshman. I mean, he looks more like a junior than he looks like a freshman, like a junior who's been in the weight program going on 3+ years. Again, he still is young guy, but you can just see physically in the way that they're coming off the ball and the way that Trick coaches those guys, you get encouraged that West Virginia will be able to get 3 yards and 4 yards and then 3 yards and 4 yards when they need to and when they have to, which, let's face it, guys, was certainly not the case last year.
If real quick, I'm sorry, Greg, if Trickett could bottle his energy level and sell that, he would be more of a millionaire than he is already. Millionaire. If you could, you're 78 years old and you move like he moves, you could sell that and you could be like Bill Gates would be calling you for a loan. Every 78-year-old would love to be able to go like, what are you doing exactly to be bouncing like that? Because there's no difference. I mean, he bounces on that field and in those drills. I mean, he's not watching while they're doing the drills. He literally is in on the drill, like positioning guys by their foot, by their leg, with his hand on their back. I mean, every single day he just bounces to the next guy and bounces to the next group and bounces to the next group. I mean, he belies his age. And I think his enthusiasm will make this line better. I think physically they're just going to be better because they're just better players, plain and simple. And that's encouraging.
So the guys that will take advantage of his group, the running backs, you mentioned Latimer and how he certainly passes the eye test. The guy that Rich has talked a lot about, and understandably so, because he led the FBS in rushing last year, is Cam Cook. What's your impression of him?
I think the same thing, Greg. I think anytime, one thing I think we've learned in this era of the transfer portal is that while you can get some guys that come from lower levels and they can have success, I think guys that have played big boy football in the past, and Cook has played big boy football in the past, right? He started as a Power 4 guy as well. That, I think, gives you more of a green light to say that it will translate and transfer in the new world. I think that the one sport that is having more success than any other and taking lower level guys and making them productive is baseball, for whatever reason. But I mean, West Virginia right now, right? Montesa will throw tonight for West Virginia, and here's a guy that was at Adelphi, and West Virginia's done that now 3 consecutive years where they're finding these guys. But I think more so baseball than any other sport. So I personally do like when guys have played quality snaps. And last year, we were in a situation where we were trying to get guys that hadn't played that big boy level of football. And I think it took some guys time to get adjusted, and some guys never adjusted.
Yeah, I do just think it's pretty basic. I mean, baseball is baseball. If you throw 90, you throw 90 whether you're at Division III or Division I. And if you've hit 93 consistently, then you've hit 93 regardless of where you've been. This level, you see it more often and a couple more miles per hour, but it's basically it's the most transferable because it's the most similar game between levels. The difference between 3, 2, and 1 is really small.
No, you're absolutely true. Yep, that's a good point.
All right, one last thing, and we'll get you out of here. Yesterday, knew 3 guys before the game. We sat down, had a great conversation with Ross Hodge. I think clearly the most newsworthy item to come out of there was the injury information on Amir Jenkins. Not only the one shoulder that was injured, and again, we've mentioned if you watch closely this year, you probably already knew that based on the harness he wore, but the fact that he played the back, whatever the number of games we had after TCU with 2 shoulder tears, pretty significant for that young man to gut out an entire season like that.
It's a great testament to who he is as a person. You know, when we watched them practice when he got here in June, he had that big harness on, and he continued to re-injure it and was in a ton of pain. And they'd go in there and, you know, manipulate and do whatever they would do to get that back in. And that's painful when that happens. And, you know, Brad, you and I mean, we'd sit there and we'd go like, there's no way that he's going to go through the course of the season and be able to finish the thing out. So we thought, okay, every week you get out of him, that's a good week.
Yep.
And it blows me out the fact that he not only went through the entire season, and as Ross said, never said a word about it. And unfortunately, at that doggone TCU game, he jumps into a pile and he tears the other labrum in his shoulder. And so now next week he goes to get surgery. And so a huge compliment to him. He's still a baby. Again, could have been a high school senior this year, and he's got a bright future. Look at those things fixed, but we didn't see who he really was at 100% this year from the start.
Agree. I think that's the biggest thing right there. The couple points. One, you didn't get to see the true Amir Jenkins, although you did see some flashes of what we think he can become. And then 2, fortunate just that he is a baby, that he's young, and he has the ability to have some years to get this repaired, be better, and continue back and still play. It's not like it's his final year and he doesn't have any eligibility left. So you'll get to see him back on the court, hopefully sooner rather than later. All right, we'll let you run. Thanks for the update. We'll see you next week.
Okay, fellas. See you. Thanks.
Okay,
Talk to you, Tony. Thanks.
There he is, Tony, checking in from across town via Zoom. I don't know that that's the first time we've done Zoom, but it might have been the smoothest.
Boy, it went well. A little hiccup with the audio
that
to
was
begin with.
But that was operator error.
Okay.
That was me.
Well, whatever. Worked well.
Yeah, worked
Good
pretty
stuff.
well. All right, a lot of texts rolling in. We'll get into them next. Continuing our discussion about football, the position group you feel best about, grading this thing on a curve right now, the position group you feel best about as we sit here in late March. 304-TALK-304. Your answers to that question when we return on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
When you choose CityNet, you're choosing a 100% West Virginia-owned internet provider with local support. No call centers, no runaround, just fast, dependable fiber internet backed by people who live and work right here. Plus, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a year. Visit citynet.net to learn more. That's citynet.net. All right, Coach Hunter, you ready to get to the text line here?
Yeah, hopefully we got a lot of response to the question.
We did. So let's dive in right now. Texter says, the position group I feel best about is offensive line due to Coach Trickett saying they were ahead of where he thought they would be. So I think that's going to be a logical choice, one, just because you have a known quantity in Rick Trickett back, but I do think Tony's right, and I don't think that's too much of a limb to just say you just feel better about the talent base. Your talent floor has been elevated, I think, maybe fairly significantly from new guys that have come in, one, and then two, the returning guys, and that's a Nick Cray, a Landon Livingston, an Agbo. Those guys should be significantly better than what we saw last year, too, just because they're a year more in the system and grown up a little bit. But I think that's a good choice. Offensive line could be one I could see, even though there's all kinds of questions on the offensive line.
Oh, absolutely. There are a ton of questions, but I agree. Maybe it's some of it's want to.
That's a good point.
But just take the transfers, and we've talked about this since they got on campus. You have 5 transfers who all started at FBS programs and started a lot. So unlike last year, and you mentioned it, and bless them, it's the best you could do, but they're guys who'd been defensive linemen the year before, who weren't necessarily high-level players at whatever program they had been, and you made the best of what you had, but obviously it was a struggle. This year, Rick Trickett's very good, but I'll start with the talent level that's there, and then you add in a Kevin Brown and a Nick Cray and all the others that go along with it. I think it's got a chance to be a good offensive line. We'll see how good as we go along.
Well, and so there's the next point, and we do this all the time, and you've heard me talk about this for years. It's the spectrum at which you land on. Are you just a little bit better? Are you a lot better? Are you way better than you were before, right? That sliding spectrum scale of where you get. And this particular group is, I think, what's going to lead you to wins. If you're going to win more games, which I think you and I agree this team should and will, it's going to be on the backs of these guys and their ability and how far you slide that spectrum to the one side of better or great, however close you get to that I think is going to determine a lot of this. But I'm with you. I think there should be some optimism around that line based on just on paper some of the talent. The other thing is too, Greg, of those guys, you get 2 of them from Jacksonville State. And I'm just of the belief, and I've told you before, Bubba Grayson, just first of all, from an interview perspective, you'll like him. But I don't think Rick Trickett brings those 2 guys with him if he doesn't think they can play at this level and handle what's about to come. So I think that that adds a little comfort from a known quantity, not to us, but if it's a known quantity to him, that gives you a little comfort.
I think you're exactly right. And, and also look at it the other way. Admittedly, just like Rich Rod or Rick Trickett's not easy to play for, right? He's very demanding. So it takes a certain kind of player to handle what he's going to ask. These two guys have been through it, and been through it not just 1 year, but multiple years. The fact that they know it and still signed up for it tells me a lot about them.
And I think that's more what I'm referring to even than just the talent or the ability level. Is that on both sides of them? Yeah, both of those guys said, okay, thanks for the offer, but I'm in, even though I know how difficult you are to play for. No question. I agree with both of those. Texter says, hey, guys, feel pretty good about the quarterback position and our field goal kicker. Defensively, not really sure. Yeah, we'll fast forward. Next week, I'll be out most of the week with basketball in Vegas, but we'll start to get into this in a couple weeks. We got to dive into the defensive side. Typical of a Rich Rod-based team, and me, I'll admit it, and me. You focus on the offense quite a bit there, but we'll have to get into defense. Quarterbacks, I think, is a good choice as well for where we stand today.
Absolutely. We talk so much about the unknowns. There are even more unknowns on the defensive side.
There is.
Because I've done that. I've been through that already, and, there's so many there. That one's even harder to figure out.
Agree. Texter says, I feel good about the offensive line. Addition of Kevin Brown's a huge boost. Returning guys like Nick Cray at experience. Return of Rick Trickett and his old coaching style will certainly help this group. That's from Andy in Romney. Agree, Andy, as you just heard us say as well. Texter, I feel best about the quarterbacks with Scotty and the new addition from Oklahoma. Agree. Texter, who are the big boys that Rich was talking about on the offensive line? Are they transfers? Yeah, and that's what you were mentioning earlier. Most of them are transfers. You've got a few returning guys that I think you'll see play a lot. The report out of camp is that Agbo, and we talked about Malik Agbo a lot last year, the transfer from Texas, that the physical skills are there. But remember, he was transferring out from being moved to tight end back to offensive line. And Greg, we noticed that when we went out and watched him last year. You could see early on, like he still looked almost basketball player-esque out there with the football team. And Rich commented on that later in the season, how much improvement he had made. We saw him play later. His grades turned out to be really good, but you could just tell he needed to add some weight. He has added some more weight. Probably not exactly where they want him to be yet, but he's added weight. And if that's the case and that skill set transfers over, that's another guy that's going to be in the mix for one of those starting jobs.
Yeah, and certainly Kevin Brown gets a lot of attention, and rightfully so. I'm not going to diminish him, but I think each one of those transfers, and the odds are not everybody hits.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. But I think you feel really good that a majority will. And if you could get 3 of those guys that hit it at a pretty high level, all of a sudden you're feeling, okay, now you got a couple guys coming back that you feel good about, maybe a freshman or 2 that you slide in there, and now you're looking, okay, you got 6, 7 guys that can really help you, or last year 2, maybe.
Agree with you. So I think you've added some depth there in addition to increasing or raising, as we say a lot, the talent floor. All right, break to take when we come back. Couple more texts to get into. Keep those coming. We've got some time for you, 304-8255-304. How about some other position groups that haven't been named? Are there any others that you feel good about heading into this 2026 season? Final break to take. Back after this on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
The WVU Medicine Medical and Surgical Weight Loss Center offers a comprehensive surgical program to help you obtain a healthy weight and improve your quality of life. Our nationally recognized bariatrics program has a strong focus on pre-surgery education and long-term weight loss after surgery. We're here to help you every step of the way. Reserve your spot at the next free, no-obligation information session by calling 304-293-1728.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this, or what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you just get me fired up. Now
Right.
you just
So I'm
get me
gonna turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Final segment, CityNet Statewide Sportsline. Brad and Greg with you. We often say there's always a West Virginia connection. I'm going to give you a couple around this one. You ready? Texter says, Chris Carey, son of former WVU basketball coach Mike Carey. Chris is in the Division II Women's National Championship game as the head coach with IUP. Pretty impressive. Now, go ahead. That game is tomorrow.
IUP plays Grand Valley State tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It is on ESPN Plus, and if you are so inclined, it's actually being played at Duquesne's basketball arena in Pittsburgh. It used to be called the Palumbo Center. Now it's got some other name.
By the way, Texter said Chris Carey. It's Craig Carey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Craig. So here's the other part of that. You ready for this? Got this text this morning from somebody that's in the know.
Okay.
And led with there's always a West Virginia connection. So that's part of it. Craig Carey, coaching IUP, Division II National Championship. As you just alluded to, they're playing Grand Valley State. A player for Grand Valley State goes by the name of Lexi Plitzowhite, daughter of Dawn Plitzowhite.
I remember her going there.
Also former WVU women's coach. So there you go. Coming up tomorrow. ESPN Plus, 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep.
That texter continues on and says quarterback's the position group that they feel the best about, along with running back. No, says running back, offensive line need to get a running game to use tempo with. I think the running backs I feel good about. Right? I know I'm kind of I mean, Cam Cook's the main reason why.
Oh, yeah.
I think you got a bona fide dude there as your number one. And then the question to me is how quickly Latimer is ready to play at this level. Because physically, he's ready for the level. How quickly do you pick up the other stuff? As we know, it's not just easy coming year one, minute one on campus to step in. If he can pick it up quickly and be ready to go, and those are your two guys, and you stay relatively injury-free, then I think you got a heck of a running back room. Just with those two, never mind anybody else that may mix in and give you carries.
Yeah, and again, the others, a couple junior college guys, a couple high school guys above and beyond, Latimer, more so unknowns. Latimer has the resume and has the look. But I think you're right. If you didn't have Cam Cook, you'd go, oh, maybe I got some concerns there. But him at the top end, and then those other guys just start to mix in and give you quality snaps, because you can't go with just one, obviously.
And as we know with Rich, if Cam Cook's healthy, the bulk of the carries are going to Cam Cook. I mean, he will run Cam Cook. And then you add in, there's going to be more quarterback carries because you're going to have a consistent running threat at quarterback, especially if it ends up being Hawkins. I mean, regardless of which guy it is, that'll be the case. But if it's Hawkins, I think you'll see even more on that. So, it's funny. Every one of those groups has significant question marks in terms of there's really nobody returning that you're sure about. Nick Cray might be the only one of that group. And there's significant questions, yet I think you can make a case for all of those different position groups.
Sure.
I was told again by somebody close to the program that the Jaden Bray thing is that it's just if he just stays healthy, you're dealing with a pro.
Yeah.
The guy's a pro. Like, we've heard that now for 3 years.
Big, strong, fast.
Big, strong, fast, and can make catches. So let's hope and knock on some wood for Jaden Bray that after 2 years of just bad injury luck there, that he's able to play.
Yeah, well, keep your fingers crossed just for the kid himself.
Yes,
I mean,
never
obviously
mind the
for the team.
Yes.
But it is, I'm going to be fascinated to watch Latimer because, again, he comes in with such high acclaim. And believe me, I understand that no position where is it easy for a freshman to step on the field and be significant from day one. But we've seen historically that running back is the one spot where you can have more success than anywhere else if you're a rookie.
Sure. Even recent.
Yeah.
Right? C.J. Donaldson, Jaheim White. I mean, you've seen both of those guys step in and have high-level success. We'll get into the wide receivers here in the coming weeks, too. I'm starting to come around a little bit there that maybe you've got some potential. It's led by Bray. If Bray's healthy and plays, all right, that's a great starting point. Now you add in Epps, the Troy transfer. I think you might have a little something there. And, man, Prince Strong looks the part.
Yeah.
Prince Strong looks
size.
That's a guy getting off the bus, and you say that's a receiver. You're like, oh, okay. Now, again, how fast can he acclimate? Can he acclimate to this system? Can he acclimate to this coaching style? I mean, there's a lot of questions that go with that, but physically, he's one that looks the part. So there's 3 names right there before you even start to get down the depth chart.
And then
there's others.
Yeah, you got others. You got a couple of junior college guys that were highly regarded at that level coming in. Teron Francis, who was a redshirt freshman, played a little bit at LSU last year, but he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school in Louisiana. So, I mean, again, you're not going to hit them all, but you've got enough there on their resumes. You think, okay, you can hit a nice proportion of them.
Yes, agree. And I think just the difference from when we sat here this time trying to go through these same exercises, I think every one of these groups we've named, we feel better about where you are now. Running back might be the one exception because you went in last year thinking you had Jaheim White and you knew what he had prior to the injury, which was a pretty good starting point.
Yeah.
But I think other than that, you probably do feel better about where the situation sits as we sit in March. How many times do we have to give that disclaimer? Do we have to do that up until the first game, or are we done, or can we do like once a week, like here's our disclaimer?
Nah,
how do we do that?
It's going to take even longer.
We got to do it every time.
Go, well, it was just Coastal Carolina. Oh, it was just an FCS program. Virginia's not that good. Well, okay, maybe we're now starting to stretch it.
So the blanket disclaimer's not available yet? We can't do that?
Nope.
We know there's a lot of time. We know. All right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate all the texts. That was great. Travis and Greg back with you on Sunday. We'll regroup on Monday, and then it's the Crown Week comes up next week. Remember, new 3 Guys Before the Game with Ross Hodge. If you haven't heard it yet, talk to you on Sunday. See you.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.